What's going on, trading family? Tyler here with Vant Trading with your trade of the day. It's been a while, but I'm back at my home office, done traveling for the beginning of the year at least. So I will be consistent every other day, I guess, doing trade of the day. So today we got the US 30 Dow Jones. It was my biggest winner today, and I was spot on with my analysis. So let's hop on into the chart and see what I traded, right? So let's expand my pretty little face, pretty big face. Cool. All right, so here's the Dow, and I'll start with the weekly chart because although I'm expecting a continuation down because of this bearish engulfing at this weekly point of control, I expected today to push up, giving us that potential weekly upper wick for then we start flipping bearish and pushing lower. So I was looking for longs today going into the morning. Looking at the daily chart, the Friday daily candle closed bullish engulfing above this, I guess, above Thursday. And we closed right around this previous resistance here, right around it. And so what I wanted to see was a break through this resistance, powering back towards a retest of around this area here for the morning. So let's kind of hop on the lower time frames, and I'll explain why I was looking for that and what gave me the idea for my trade today. So clearly there was no trading during the day, right? It was coming into nicely open when we got our trade because it was sitting here, very tight range, and you have this resistance here where all these previous highs were rejecting, and that's where we're kind of sitting right below. And so heading into the morning, into nicely open, we were marching through these highs. And so what I wanted to see initially was a grab of liquidity, maybe a move above here, come down, retest, and look for the shorts. But I kind of had changed my bias as the market had given us more data because of what we were seeing here. And so what I was looking at was we had this strong support being formed here heading into the market open. 9:15 candle closed into 9:30, and it closed bullish above all these wicks here. No upper wick. The 9:30 candle just shot down. And so as we started seeing the momentum just kick into overdrive here to the downside, I figured what we're going to see is you have the lows of the day in here. And so I was like, all right, well, it looks like we're running towards the low of the day. So I guess the low of the weekly open, so the pre-market session. And so what I had done was, if you look at the 1 minute, because, as I'm trading the equities during nicely open, sometimes I'll look at the 1 minute to get maybe a better idea of where some levels and structure would be. And so I saw that this was the main area in pre-market that I would keep an eye on, right? Because it's where we had this bottoming action here, double bottom right here this morning. And so as we had come down to that area, we were puking in the morning off the open, getting some pretty strong selling action. And as we approached this area, we were oversold, and I took a long. I was like, maybe this is where we bottom. And this is before I had then realized that this was not the low of the day. I was a little, I guess I didn't realize where my levels were, and so I hopped in on this trade, and then I saw a blow right through. So I looked left and realized that this was the low, technically the weekly low. And so what we saw was price break below, engulf back up. And so once we came back to retest the broken weekly low, I took a second long, so I'm in long, one right here, long another right in here. And if we had confirmed that this low was just going to give and we were going to start continuing down, then this is not what I expected. I expected this just to be a liquidity grab to the downside. So what it did was it baited a bunch of people in long here, and it stopped everybody out on this push down. So everybody was getting stopped out. And then this break of the low here baited a lot of shorts in, and then you get that short rally and the short covering, right? And so that's what I was expecting after we saw this big puke here, was for us to run the lows of the weekly session here and then rally off that. So I had a position in here, and my stops were, like I said, just could be somewhere in this no man's land here. And I wanted to see us rally through the open here, the highs, and just continue higher, right? And so it was similar. So I was averaged in right around this position. So short, I was averaging right around this area here, stops somewhere amongst the lows here. And my take profit was going to be a run of the highs. So it was about a 3-to-1 trade. Not too bad. And I just kind of let it do its thing. It required patience because if you looked at the other equities, if you looked at Apple, Microsoft, everything else, they were ripping a lot quicker and a lot earlier than the Dow was. So it required patience. But if you saw that, okay, look at the Qs, right? Let's look at the Qs. The Qs were ripping, right? And it was just ripping right out. Like you had that morning dump, and then it just took off, right? At 9:40, we were past pre-market highs and well past the open. If you look at the Dow at 9:40, we were still at the lows here, still at the lows, and this is the open and the high, right? So sometimes you got to use the other equities. Sometimes you got to use, like, if you look at Apple, was ripping in the morning, with tech. So look at the majors, look at other equities, and sometimes you can get an idea of, okay, we're grabbing liquidity, everything's rallying. Just got to be patient with this one, and it'll eventually play out. And so it did its thing. I missed out on a lot of alpha. I honestly didn't expect this big of a move today. But it is what it is. I just was happy to catch this morning move because it was just pretty dead throughout the entire day. So that was it. Moving forward, I'll probably do Monday and Wednesday trade the days, assuming I have the good trades. Sometimes I might mix it up if Mike has better trades, vice versa. If I have better trades on Tuesday, Thursday. We'll see. But thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on my stream tomorrow.